Welcome to the Tribune Scouting Report. I'm Jennifer Fierro here at Bulldog Field, home of the Burnet High School football team. The Bulldogs are coming off a 35-19 loss to Giddings, and yet there's no panic here. Why? Because the Bulldogs have the Fredericksburg Billies in their eyesight. We're going to check in with head coach Doyle Walker, ask him about his Bulldogs, and then of course we're going to hear from Roger Moore, our expert here on the Bulldogs. All that and more on the Tribune Scouting Report coming right up. We're back. We want to thank you for joining us wherever and however you're able to. With me now, the head football coach of the Burnet High School team, head coach Doyle Walker. And coach, I want to say this to you to kind of help make you feel a little better. Last year you suffered a loss to Giddings and you guys reeled off 8 straight wins. Unfortunately for you this week, you suffered the same thing. You lose, what, 31-19? 35-19. And yet I get the impression that your guys learned so much from that game that you may be ready to reel off another long winning streak here. What do you think?
Let's hope so. You know, I hope it pans out like that. First thing I told the kids in workout this week to start the week off with was, hey, we did the same thing last year. We reeled off 8 straight, and I'm looking for more than 8 this year. So, our expectations are there, and it's up to the kids to put it together and mature and grow up from the loss that we had last week and move on with it.
I know you've only had an opportunity really to work with the guys, just the one practice this week so far, and yet I get the impression, just knowing your boys and the approach that they have, I think they came in ready to prove to the Bulldog fans, the Bulldog faithful, that what happened to you against Giddings is not at all indicative of this team. They can do better.
Oh yeah, we made some mistakes, and I call them growing pains because of our inexperience, and hopefully we've learned from those mistakes, and hopefully, against Fredericksburg we will eliminate those mistakes and play a lot better. You
mentioned the Billies suffered a loss to Kerrville-Tivy, yet Kerrville-Tivy is one of the powerhouses in Class 4A, right. And that kind of deal. I know that the Billies are going through a little bit of a change themselves. I believe they have a brand new football coach this year.
Yes.
And you've already scrimmaged them, so you've had a chance to take a look at them. Tell me your thoughts on the Billies going into week 2.
They're hungry. They've got, the same type situation we do. I think they've got 6 sophomores and a freshman on their varsity roster right now. So they're having the same growing pains we are. And scrimmaged them early, our first scrimmage this year. We didn't score against them. They didn't score against us. So, it's going to be a battle Friday night in Fredericksburg, and hopefully we have matured enough, and our younger kids have got the jitters out of their system, and hopefully we'll rally.
Now, you've had a chance to see them, obviously. Offensively, what do they like to do?
Their quarterback is a big threat. They're running a little zone read stuff in the backfield. It's a spread offense, and the quarterback is probably their mainstay. He's going to carry the ball quite a bit for them, and he's got a good arm. He can throw the ball pretty well, and they're big up front. So we've got to contain that. We've got to be very disciplined defensively, and hopefully we stay at home and take care of our responsibilities.
You've said that, because I was able to come see y'all scrimmage Leander Vandergrift a couple weeks ago. You said those lines on both sides of the ball for the Vipers were indicative, the big and strong lines. Mm-hmm. You felt like that was going to be indicative of a lot of teams that you faced this year. Do you feel the same way about Fredericksburg's line?
I do. They're not probably as quick as Vandergrift was. Our offensive line did a good job Friday night. We didn't give up a sack to the quarterback, and our offensive line has matured, and those guys performed pretty well for us. They really did, and we're hoping, that they mature and get better as the season goes on, and I think they will. So, you know, it's you know, if we take care of our responsibilities up front, and I think we should be okay.
Switching to the other side of the ball, what does Fredericksburg like to do on defense?
They're a 4-3 type defense, and they play a lot of quarters in the secondary, and it's pretty good. You know, hopefully we can mix and match our run and our pass. So we're looking, you know, to do both those things Friday night.
Now, y'all have been so successful at running the spread offense over the last few years. You're able to have a power running back running out of the spread, and you've always had such great quarterbacks and such great receivers. What do you think we're going to find out about your team against Fredericksburg that might surprise some of the fans here?
Well, you know, I hope we catch a few more passes than what we did, and I hope our running game gets established early. And if we can establish our running game, I think it's just going to open up the passing game for us.
All right, Coach. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We look forward to seeing you next week.
Okay.
And when we come back, we're going to check in with our expert, Roger Moore.
These days, it's important to save money where you can. Performing regular maintenance on your air conditioning system can help lower your monthly utility bills. Sign up for Ken's Heating and Air Ultimate Savings Agreement and get 15% off on all service repairs. Ken's Heating and Air.
We want to welcome onto the set now Roger Moore, the voice of the Burnet High School Bulldogs. And Roger, you had a chance to see Burnet against Giddings last week. Give me some of your thoughts on that game.
I did. I thought they, you know, just seems like they just couldn't get rolling at times, and then other times I'm like, hey, this is good. We're doing good, and it's just really close. I feel like I thought Giddings was pretty good, and they were pretty big.
Well, the big thing I think that people really don't realize, or the average fan doesn't realize, is that you have so much adjustments, and the most improvement most teams make are from game 1 to game 2.
Oh, absolutely.
Is that what you're looking for this week from them as they're preparing now for Fredericksburg?
Absolutely. I mean, you know, first couple of weeks you have a couple of scrimmages, and you're thinking, hey, okay, things are pretty good. We're gelling. You look on film, you say, oh, we got to work on these issues, and then this comes around. Then you get that first game in. We got several sophomores in positions that they had to grow up last week, and I think they did. I think they did a lot. And so, you know, you get the little things like that working, and then you get the second week here it comes around, and things hopefully will start gelling big time this week.
You're talking about Fredericksburg now. Obviously, the Billies got blown out by Kerrville-Tivy 35-0. Which team has the most pressure on it this week in terms of improving?
Oh, you know, I think probably Fredericksburg does, probably because they're coming from a down season last year even, and they're going to be out for blood. There's no doubt, and we're going to have our A game, and we've got to be gelling and ginning on all cylinders, you know.
So as you look now towards week 2 with Fredericksburg, Coach mentioned that Zach Maldonado is going to be back as his usual slot receiver position, which will be huge for him. He's such a big playmaker for the Bulldogs. And yet, I get the impression that he feels his natural position is at slot. What do you think?
Oh, you know, he's such a talented kid, there's no doubt. And he's going to do whatever you ask him to do. I can tell that. And he's going to be right at home anywhere he goes, I think. And he's definitely going to be a more of a threat out there on that edge. And I think it's going to really help a lot.
The offensive line did not give up a sack against Giddings. I saw the Vandegrift scrimmage. Offensive line gave up a lot. Weston Cosby took a lot of hits. Were you surprised by the fact that the offensive line was able to protect Weston as well as they did last week against Giddings?
You know, I thought they were pretty good against Giddings. I thought Giddings did some funny things to them at times. They picked it up, whereas the week before they didn't with Vandegrift. And I think that's just some of that good coaching coming around and saying, here's what they're going to do to us, here's what they can do us. And I think the scheme of things, of the way we adjusted, I'm sorry, the way we lined up and stuff, that kind of helped us with keeping the pressure off Weston. And you got to give Weston a lot of credit too. He had a few rushes where he had to rush a little bit, but I thought the offensive line did a great job, and I thought they did a good job blocking for run blocking as well. Real
quick, did you think the Burnet defense played well enough to beat Giddings last week?
Yeah, I came away thinking, well, they had us early with the toss to the 2 receiver side, and that gave us a little trouble. Coach Jones, coaches, they kind of came together, I'm sure, and remedied that, and made that better. Of course, when you take away that, now you give up the backside counter and different things. So I thought they played pretty darn good. That was a pretty good team, offensive team that they were playing against Giddings. They're not a great team, but they're pretty good, and they had a pretty good running back there. He's not great yet, but I think he could be, and their quarterback probably has a lot more to show than he showed last week as well. But I thought our defense played well, and I think they can play better. And I really think things are going to start gelling real quick.
Okay. Roger, we appreciate the insight. Look forward to hearing from you again next week, and we'll be right back.
Caring for you like family is not just our motto, it is our commitment to our patients. At Texas Hills Urgent Care Centers, our highly trained nurses, physicians, and staff know that your health and your family's health are important. With weekend and evening hours, Texas Hills Urgent Care Centers is here for all your family's health care needs, including treatment for illnesses, injuries, school and travel vaccinations, as well as many other services. Located on Highway 71 in Bee Cave and on Highway 281 in Marble Falls, convenient and professional medical care is just around the corner.
Expect to see the Bulldogs bounce back in a big way against the Billies. I think Zach Maldonado, Weston Cosby, and the rest of the Bulldogs feel like they have something to prove. I think they're going to walk into Fredericksburg with a big chip on their shoulders. Don't worry about the Bulldogs overlooking Fredericksburg in week 3 when they talk about the Mustangs. That's not going to happen. Doyle Walker and his staff will have this team primed and ready to play the Billies come Friday night. We look forward to bringing you the details of that game next week. Until then, I'm Jennifer Fierro with the Tribune Scouting Report. We'll see you then.